The philosophy is that it is relatively simple. The practice is really hard. So I wouldn't say the philosophy really evolved all that much for me. Before I got really exposed to value investing through Buffett's lecture at Bruce Greenwald's class, I think my whole approach to life was pretty much a set along similar lines. And so there was not much of a jump for me. The idea of buying something at a discount for something that really worth more is simply intelligent. So I would say almost all intelligent investing involves some kind of a value investing. And now the difference is that your focus on value evolves over time. And to different individuals, they tend to focus different areas of value. For me, when I first started as a value investor, this is now 28 years ago when I bought my first stock, I didn't really know much about business. I was born and raised in China during the Cultural Revolution. There was not much of a private business or market economy back then, so I had to learn everything anew. So at the beginning, obviously, I looked for value primarily on the balance sheet in the classic style of Benjamin Graham, looking for a cigarette butt. Looking for the last puff, basically, looking for statistically cheap businesses and ignore what the business really is. And that served me well. And then over time, I evolved into understanding smaller businesses. And because I was just intensively curious about how business run. So much so, actually, I evolved into help funding or co-creating a dozen or so early stage startup companies. And that experience has taught me a lot about how businesses run, what constitute a good or bad or mediocre businesses. And so over time, I evolved into looking for really good businesses, small maybe, but really good businesses. And then that leads me to look for good businesses in Asia and eventually for businesses with enduring competitive advantage with a long growth trajectory ahead of them. And so the places where we're looking for value evolves over time. But the basic philosophy have pretty much remained the same. It's just our core competence expanded over time. Now, I have been very fortunate to be influenced at the very beginning by the investment giant Buffett and Munger. And later on, I was really, really lucky. It was just a stroke of luck that he can't even make it up in fictions. That I strike a good connection with Charlie Munger, and he became an investor 2003, 2004, and we've been partners since then. Basically, he has been a mentor, an investor, a business partner, and a great friend all these years. And for many, many years, we have dinner every Tuesday night. And so it's my version of a Tuesday night with Charlie every week. And that lasted for years until just right around the pandemic. And we talk a lot more. So obviously I had a great deal of influence by him. But I have to say that the greatest influence from Charlie was really beyond just investment. It was more of a role model in the way he conducted himself in real life. Now, I think for every profession, for everybody, it is wonderful to have role models in life. And often we find role models among the eminent dead because it's safer. So it's pretty risky to pick a role model that's still alive. And that I always have a risk of disappointing you. But in my case, I got really, really lucky in the sense that my role model never failed, and instead continued to inspire me right into his 97th year, basically. And so mostly it's really basic his attitude towards life and his ability to keep equanimity, in a sense, in the face of up and downs, success or setbacks. And I witnessed quite a bit of them over the 17 years or so we've been working closely. Maintain that rational composure, commonsensical approach to all problems, investment or life. That is extraordinarily hard. And it is a bit of against our natural tendencies. And I've really watched up close and personal how Charlie have conducted himself. And it is in that regard that he is probably the most influential person in my life. And I have been very, very lucky in that regard.